My precious chosen one, pause for a moment and listen carefully, because what I am about to reveal has never been spoken to you in this way before. Your movingness is the picture of the place you are moving to. Open right now before it's too late to recognize the sign I am placing before your eyes. Yes, I, Archangel Michael, stand beside you in this hour. And what you are feeling inside your spirit right now is not imagination. It is confirmation. Something is shifting. Something is being rearranged. Something you did not plan, but heaven already prepared. You thought this move was random. You thought it was about opportunity, about money, about escape, about starting over. But I tell you the truth, it is deeper than that. The place you are moving to is not just a location. It is an assignment. And here is what shocks most people. The move is not happening because you are ready, it is happening because the time is ready. Look closely in your spirit. Do you see it? The doors, the windows, the light entering from the east side, the quiet street, the unfamiliar scent of new beginnings. You have already seen flashes of it in your dreams. A hallway that felt both strange and familiar. A room that felt peaceful. A window where sunlight touched the floor at a certain angle. You dismissed it, but it was shown to you on purpose. Heaven never relocates without revelation. Right now, there are invisible battles being fought over this transition. Not because it is dangerous, but because it is important. The enemy does not fight over empty ground. He fights over territory that carries destiny. And the place you are moving to carries destiny. Let me reveal something hidden. This relocation is connected to a woman who will soon be exposed. Yes, you heard correctly. The shift in your environment is positioning you away from deception and toward clarity. For months, confusion has surrounded you. Words have not matched actions. Energy has felt inconsistent. Something has been off. You sensed it, but you could not prove it. This move is divine separation before divine revelation. The house, or apartment, you are stepping into holds protection within its walls. It will feel lighter. Not perfect. Not luxurious beyond imagination, but lighter. Peace will greet you at the door like an old friend. And here is the detail that confirms this message. The place you are moving to has a window facing open sky, not another building pressed closely against it. That openness is symbolic. Heaven is widening your perspective. You are not running away. You are being repositioned. Right now, Archangel Michael is clearing unseen obstacles in the spirit realm. Papers that seemed delayed will move. Conversations that felt stuck will unlock. Decisions that felt heavy will suddenly feel obvious. But listen carefully. Timing is critical. There is a narrow window of obedience attached to this shift. Delay will create unnecessary struggle. Obedience will create acceleration. That is why this message reached you now. You have been asking for a sign. You have been saying, if this is right, show me clearly. And here it is. Not vague. Not symbolic. Clear. You are moving. And the picture forming in your imagination right now. That is not fantasy. That is preview. The floors may be different from where you are now. The energy calmer. The nights quieter. There will be a moment, the first night you sleep there, when you wake up at 3:17 a.m., and instead of anxiety, you will feel stillness. That stillness will be your confirmation. But before that peace arrives, there may be resistance, doubt. Someone may question your decision. A woman connected to your past or present may react strongly when she senses your detachment. Do not argue. Do not defend. Silence will reveal more than confrontation. Exposure does not require your effort. Truth reveals itself when light increases, and light is increasing around you. Understand this. The move is not punishment. It is promotion. You have outgrown your current space spiritually before you outgrew it physically. Your prayers have saturated those walls. Your tears have marked that floor. That chapter is complete. The next location holds restoration. I see you standing in that new place, looking around quietly. You will say nothing out loud, but inside, you will think, this feels right. That whisper is heaven's signature. Do not ignore it. The next 14 days carry unusual momentum. Watch for confirmation through small details, repeating numbers, unexpected calls, sudden clarity about finances. These are not coincidences. They are alignment markers. You are not being displaced. You are being directed. And as Archangel Michael, I tell you, protection surrounds this decision. Go forward without fear, because what you are leaving behind cannot follow you where you are going. Beloved soul, the moment you sense something shifting, that was not anxiety, it was activation. There is a difference. Anxiety drains you. Activation awakens you. And what you are feeling right now is your spirit waking up to movement that heaven has already approved. You keep looking around your current space, and suddenly it feels temporary. The walls that once felt secure now feel like they are closing in. The routines that once comforted you now feel repetitive. Even the air feels heavy some days. That is not dissatisfaction. That is transition energy. When a season expires, it begins to lose its flavor. Archangel Michael stands as a guardian over divine transitions. I do not only fight battles, I escort destinies. And in this hour, I am escorting you from limitation into expansion. What you thought was just a change of address is actually a change of alignment. There is something very specific about the place you are moving to. It carries quiet authority. It is not loud. It does not scream success. But it holds stability. The ground there is firm. Decisions made there will prosper. Ideas formed there will grow roots. You are not just relocating physically. You are stepping into mental clarity. The confusion that surrounded you in your current space was not accidental. Environments carry spiritual residue. Conversations, arguments, disappointments, they linger. And for a while, you endured it because you were still learning. But now you have learned enough. Now it is time to build. Understand this clearly. The woman who will be exposed is connected to the old environment. Her influence cannot survive where you are going. That is why tension may increase as your move becomes more real. When someone senses they are losing access to you, they react. But exposure is not revenge. It is revelation. And revelation happens naturally when distance increases. You will begin to notice inconsistencies becoming obvious. Things that once confused you will suddenly make sense. Words she spoke will replay in your mind with new understanding. And instead of anger, you will feel clarity. Clarity is freedom. This move is separating you from emotional fog. It is restoring your discernment. In your new place, your thoughts will feel sharper. Your prayers stronger. Your sleep deeper. There is a reason peace is waiting for you there. Archangel Michael has already gone before you. Obstacles that could have delayed you are being removed quietly. Paperwork will align. Logistics will fall into place. Timing will surprise you in a good way. But here is what you must not do. Do not announce every step. Silence protects transition. Not everyone deserves access to your next chapter before it begins. The enemy studies patterns. Break your pattern. Move wisely. Move quietly. Move confidently. There will be a day very soon when you stand in that new doorway holding keys in your hand. And in that exact second, you will feel something lift off your shoulders. That weight you carried for months will dissolve. That is not imagination. That is spiritual pressure releasing. The place you are going to is also connected to provision. Financial flow will stabilize there, not magically overnight, but steadily. Consistency will replace uncertainty. Opportunities will feel aligned instead of forced. You have been surviving. Now you will begin building. And let me speak directly to your doubt. You are not making a mistake. Fear always whispers before growth. But fear does not get to decide your future. Heaven already had. If this message is resonating with your spirit, if you feel that stirring inside confirming what you already sensed, then engage with this moment. Like this video so this message reaches someone else who is standing on the edge of their own transition. Share it with someone who feels stuck. Comment "I am ready to move" as a declaration of alignment. Subscribe to this channel and become part of a community that walks in spiritual awareness and divine timing. Join the membership if you feel called to go deeper into these messages. And listen carefully. What is about to be revealed next will connect the timing of your move with a detail you have completely overlooked. It is subtle, but once you see it, you will never unsee it. Hold your focus, because this is where confirmation becomes undeniable. Your relocation is not random. It is strategic. The place you are moving to is already prepared to receive you. And when you arrive, you will realize something powerful. You were never behind. You were being positioned. Archangel Michael walks ahead of you. Keep moving. Chosen one. There is a reason your spirit has been restless at night. It is not stress. It is revelation trying to surface. You are standing at the edge of a transition that was written long before you ever packed a single box. You're moving. This is the picture of the place you are moving to. Open right now before it's too late to recognize how deeply this shift is tied to your protection. Let me uncover what you have not yet seen. The place you are moving to is not only about peace, it is about exposure. When light changes, hidden things cannot remain hidden. The woman who will be exposed is not being revealed because you are seeking confrontation. She is being revealed because truth cannot survive in shadow forever. In your current space, there were subtle manipulations. Words slightly twisted. Emotions slightly exaggerated. Small inconsistencies that you dismissed because you wanted harmony. But heaven does not build your future on confusion. Archangel Michael stands as a warrior of clarity. Where I stand, deception weakens. And where you are going, deception cannot breathe. There is something specific about the energy of your new place. It carries transparency. Conversations there will be clear. Intentions there will be obvious. You will not have to decode behavior or question motives. That alone is a blessing you have underestimated. The exposure will not be dramatic. It will not require shouting or chaos. It will unfold calmly. A contradiction will surface. A truth will slip out. A pattern will reveal itself without you forcing anything. And when it happens, you will not feel anger. You will feel confirmation. That confirmation is why this move is urgent. If you stayed where you are, emotional attachment might cloud your judgment. Familiarity often disguises dysfunction. But distance creates perspective, and perspective creates discernment. You are being moved into clarity before the full truth becomes undeniable. There is also a financial component to this shift. The place you are stepping into carries opportunity connected to stability. In your old environment, expenses drained you unexpectedly. Plans felt unstable. But where you are going, structure will replace uncertainty. It may begin with something small, a new contact, a nearby opportunity, a connection formed by proximity. But over time, it will build into something consistent. This is not accidental. It is alignment. You prayed for stability. You prayed for truth. You prayed for peace. And now heaven is answering, not with words, but with relocation. Do you see how precise this is? Archangel Michael has already gone before you, clearing arguments that could have erupted, softening hearts that could have resisted, ranging timing that could have conflicted. You think things are happening naturally, but there is spiritual coordination behind the scenes. And here is the most powerful detail. The moment the exposure happens, you will be emotionally detached enough not to be shaken. That is protection. Had this truth surfaced months ago, it would have wounded you deeply. Now it will simply free you. Freedom is the real reason you are moving. There will be a quiet evening in your new place when everything finally settles. You will sit alone for a moment. No noise. No pressure. No will tell you. And suddenly you will realize how heavy your old environment truly was. You survived it, but you were not meant to stay there. This move marks the end of endurance and the beginning of expansion. The next 21 days are spiritually significant. Pay attention to dreams. Pay attention to repeated confirmations. Pay attention to sudden clarity about people. These are not random impressions. They are divine signals. You are not losing anything valuable. You are losing access to confusion. And when the woman is exposed, do not celebrate. Do not retaliate. Simply step back. Truth defends itself. Archangel Michael covers you with strength and restraint. You will respond with wisdom, not emotion. That response will elevate you even further. Everything is aligning. Now receive this activation. Type "I step into clarity" in the comments if this message confirms what your spirit already knew. Blessing code 314 is being released over your transition right now. And as this revelation settles into your heart, hear this sacred invitation. When you sow into this mission through Super Thanks, membership, or the PayPal link in the description, you are not supporting a channel. You are helping light reach souls standing at their own crossroads. Scripture declares, "Give, and it shall be given unto you." And this is not ancient history. It is God speaking over you now. As you release seed into good soil, heaven releases harvest into your life. I feel led to say this. Your act of generosity today becomes someone else's breakthrough tomorrow. Do not hesitate when the Spirit nudges you. Obedience opens windows. Those who fund the spread of truth will never lack clarity in their own path. Step into this moment and activate your giving as a prophetic response. Faithful one, now that clarity has begun to rise within you, the atmosphere around your decision is becoming more intense. This is not a sign to retreat. It is a sign that your movement is real. Whenever destiny shifts, resistance tries to make one final attempt to delay it. But delay no longer has permission over your life. Your movingness is the picture of the place you are moving to. Open right now before it's too late to recognize how precisely this transition is being orchestrated for your elevation. The urgency in this message is not about fear. It is about timing. There is a divine rhythm attached to your location. In your current environment, you learned endurance. You learned patience. You learned how to survive uncertainty. But where you are going, you will learn authority. You will learn how to decide without second-guessing yourself. You will learn how to trust your discernment without outside validation. That shift is powerful. Archangel Michael does not only guard you from visible threats, I guard you from subtle influences that weaken your confidence. In the place you are leaving, there were energies that caused you to question yourself more than necessary. You replayed conversations. You doubted instincts. You overanalyzed small details. That mental exhaustion is ending. The new place carries mental spaciousness. You will think clearly there. Ideas will come to you unexpectedly. Solutions will arrive without struggle. Even your creativity will feel revived. And here is something deeper. The move is separating you from emotional entanglement that could have drained your future. The woman who will be exposed is connected to patterns that would have repeated if you remained close. Distance breaks cycles. You may already notice subtle changes in her behavior. Slight defensiveness. Unusual curiosity about your plans. A shift in tone. That is because your detachment is being felt. When access changeth, reaction change. But do not be pulled back by nostalgia. The past can feel comfortable even when it was unhealthy. Growth requires discomfort before it produces peace. There will be a moment during this transition when doubt tries to whisper, maybe you are overreacting. Maybe you should stay. That voice is not wisdom. It is familiarity trying to hold you in place. Remember this. Peace is confirmation, not familiarity. When you imagine yourself in the new place, you feel calm. That calmness is your sign. It is subtle but steady. Heaven does not always shout. Sometimes it confirms through quiet assurance. The move is also repositioning your spiritual covering. In your new environment, your prayers will feel lighter. You will sense protection more clearly. Archangel Michael stands at the doorway of that future residence, marking it with divine safeguarding. Nothing assigned to harm you can cross that threshold. But preparation is still required on your part. Declutter physically and spiritually. Release objects that carry heavy memories. Release conversations that reopen wounds. Release attachments that no longer align. You are not just packing belongings. You are shedding layers. This shedding may feel emotional. You might feel waves of nostalgia. Let them pass. Gratitude for a chapter does not mean you must relive it. You are advancing. Financially, this move marks a reset. Not necessarily a dramatic increase overnight, but a restructuring. Expenses will become manageable. Unexpected drains will reduce. Opportunities connected to location will open. It may begin with something simple, a conversation with a neighbor, a new routine that exposes you to different people, a connection formed by proximity. Seeds are already planted in that environment waiting for your arrival. Timing is everything. Archangel Michael is also guarding your reputation during this shift. As exposure unfolds, narratives may attempt to twist. Stay silent. Dignity is louder than defense. When truth reveals itself, your consistency will speak for you. In the coming days, pay attention to your dreams. Water symbolism, open roads, wide landscapes. These are confirmations of expansion. If you wake up feeling lighter, that is alignment strengthening. And when you physically step into that new space for the first time, take a quiet moment before unpacking anything. Stand still. Breathe. Acknowledge the shift. That pause will seal the transition spiritually. This is not just a move. It is a crossing. You are crossing from confusion into clarity, from endurance into authority, from entanglement into freedom. Archangel Michael walks before you and behind you. Protection surrounds the decision. Favor rests on the timing. Do not rush. Do not delay. Move with confidence, because the place you are going to has already been prepared for you, and it is ready to receive the version of you that no longer tolerates less than peace. Steadfast heart, something remarkable is happening beneath the surface of your reality. While you are thinking about logistics, packing, timing, and conversations, heaven is finalizing spiritual contracts connected to your future. This is not merely a relocation. It is a transfer of authority. Your movingness is the picture of the place you are moving to. Open right now before it's too late to understand that this shift is also a closing ceremony for a season that quietly shaped you. In your current environment, you became stronger than you realize. You learned to discern energy shifts. You learned to sit in silence and observe. You learned that not every smile carries sincerity. Those lessons were necessary. But lessons are not permanent residences. You are graduating. The atmosphere around you right now may feel unstable. Conversations may feel tense. Plans may feel rushed. Unexpected complications might attempt to surface. Do not interpret this as a sign to stop. Interpret it as confirmation that movement is active. When destiny advances, resistance reacts. Archangel Michael stands as a guardian over divine advancement. Where movement is ordained, interference is restrained. There are unseen blockages that were positioned to delay your progress. They are being dismantled quietly. What could have turned into conflict will dissolve. What could have turned into loss will be redirected. This is grace in motion. The woman who will be exposed is approaching a moment of self-revelation. Exposure does not always come from external accusation. Sometimes it emerges from inconsistency that becomes too obvious to hide. A statement will contradict a previous claim. A behavior will not align with her own words. And in that moment, your discernment will solidify. You will not need evidence. You will feel certainty. And because you will already be emotionally preparing to move, her revelation will not destabilize you. That is strategic protection. Distance is about to protect your peace. There is something sacred about the first week in your new place. It will feel quiet, almost unusually calm. That calmness will not be emptiness. It will be restoration. Your nervous system will begin to relax. You may notice you are thinking more clearly. You may notice you are less reactive. Your spirit will finally exhale. This exhale is important. For too long, you have been holding subtle tension without realizing it. Not dramatic chaos, just underlying unease. You adapted to it, but you were never meant to live under it. The move is lifting pressure. Financially, you may feel cautious at first. That is natural. But what you will soon realize is that stability does not always come from increase. It comes from alignment. When you are in the right place, provision flows with less friction. Unexpected savings will appear. Small blessings will stack. Opportunities will align naturally instead of requiring constant chasing. Archangel Michael is also adjusting your spiritual sensitivity. In the new environment, your intuition will sharpen. You will sense sincerity faster. You will recognize misalignment quicker. You will no longer ignore red flags. This is growth. And with growth comes responsibility. Protect your new space. Be mindful of who you invite in. Not everyone from your old season is meant to cross into your new one. Familiarity does not equal qualification. There will be a temptation to maintain old connections out of habit. Evaluate carefully. If a relationship required constant explanation, constant repair, constant defense, it does not belong in your next chapter. Peace must be preserved. You are also stepping into a season of rebuilding identity. In your current space, you were known in a certain way. People saw you through old experiences. In your new place, you will redefine yourself without effort. New surroundings create new narratives. This is your chance to rebuild with intention. The next 30 days will carry subtle but powerful confirmations. A dream that feels vivid. A stranger who speaks a timely word. A repeated number sequence that catches your attention. These are not coincidences. They are divine reassurance. Archangel Michael remains present, guarding the transition, clearing the unseen, reinforcing your courage. You may still feel moments of doubt. That is human. But doubt does not cancel destiny. It simply tests your commitment to it. When the keys finally rest in your hand and the door closes behind you for the first time, take a moment to whisper gratitude. Gratitude seals transitions with blessing. You are not being uprooted without purpose. You are being replanted in prepared ground. And when you look back months from now, you will recognize this exact season as the turning point. The moment you chose peace over familiarity, clarity over confusion, growth over comfort. Keep moving forward. Your next environment is not waiting to judge you. It is waiting to elevate you. Warrior of destiny, the closer you get to this move, the more you will begin to feel a strange mixture of anticipation and resistance. That tension is not confusion. It is transition compressing 2 seasons into one final moment. You are standing between what was and what is about to be. Your movingness is the picture of the place you are moving to. Open right now before it's too late to recognize how divinely protected this crossing truly is. There is something you must understand at this stage. Not every battle announces itself loudly. Some battles try to exhaust you quietly. Fatigue, second thoughts, overthinking small details. These are subtle forms of resistance. But Archangel Michael stands in this hour not only as protector, but as strength restorer. You may have noticed that as your moving plans solidify, small distractions increase. Unexpected conversations, sudden emotional triggers, minor inconveniences that test your patience. This is not coincidence. It is friction trying to slow your obedience. But obedience does not require perfect conditions. It requires courage. The place you are stepping into carries an atmosphere of reset. The air there will feel different. Not because it is physically extraordinary, but because it is spiritually aligned. You will not have to fight for peace there. Peace will exist naturally. And this is crucial. Your voice will change in that environment. You will speak more firmly. You will set boundaries without apology. You will decline invitations that drain you. Something about that location will awaken a stronger version of you. That is not arrogance. That is maturity. The woman who will be exposed is sensing this shift internally. She may attempt one last emotional pull. A sudden act of kindness. A nostalgic reminder. A subtle attempt to regain closeness. Observe without reacting. Patterns reveal themselves most clearly when you stop participating in them. Distance will finalize what revelation has already begun. There will be a specific day during this transition when you feel unusually calm despite external activity. That day will mark the spiritual completion of your old season. Even before you physically move, something inside you will detach fully. Pay attention to that moment. It is sacred. Archangel Michael has already gone ahead of you to establish protection in your new dwelling. The threshold of that place is marked with unseen covering. Arguments that could have followed you will dissolve before reaching you. Drama that once circled you will lose direction. But you must also guard your mindset. Do not carry suspicion into your new chapter. Leave distrust behind with the old environment. Growth means you carry wisdom forward, not fear. Financially, you may notice a recalibration. Budgets will feel more structured. Spending will become intentional. Stability will not come from excess but from discipline. This is preparation for greater responsibility. You are being trusted with more. As this message strengthens your spirit, do not keep it to yourself. Like this video so others standing at their own crossroads can receive confirmation. Share it with someone who feels stuck in an environment they have outgrown. Comment "I am stepping forward" as a declaration of alignment. Subscribe to this channel to stay connected to messages that sharpen your discernment. If you feel called to go deeper, join the membership and become part of a community committed to spiritual awareness and growth. And listen carefully. What is about to unfold next will reveal why this relocation is also connected to a door of influence that you did not even know was opening. The timing of your move is not just about escape. It is about positioning. Hold your focus, because the next revelation ties your location to your purpose in a way you have not yet considered. You are not just changing addresses. You are changing access. Access to better conversations. Access to healthy rhythms. Access to opportunities aligned with your calling. In your old space, you were surviving cycles. In your new space, you will begin creating legacy. Archangel Michael remains stationed at your side, reinforcing your courage. Do not shrink back now. The hardest part of transition is not packing boxes. It is releasing attachments. Release them. The ground ahead of you is firm. The air ahead of you is clear. The chapter ahead of you is intentional. Take the step. Your next season is waiting for your arrival. Anointed traveler, you are closer than you think. The atmosphere around your life is tightening not to restrict you, but to launch you. There is a moment before every divine shift when everything feels heightened. Conversations feel sharper. Emotions feel stronger. Even silence feels louder. That is where you are standing now. Your movingness is the picture of the place you are moving to. Open right now before it's too late to understand that this move is tied to influence far beyond comfort. Up until now, you have been focused on what you are leaving. But heaven is focused on what you are entering. The place you are stepping into is not only a refuge, it is a platform. Something about that environment will amplify your voice. Not necessarily in a public spotlight immediately, but in authority. When you speak there, your words will carry weight. When you decide there, your choices will create momentum. You have been underestimated in your current environment. People grew familiar with your presence and began to treat your strength as ordinary. But in your new location, your value will be recognized more clearly. Familiarity often blinds people to greatness. Archangel Michael stands not only as guardian but as announcer of divine repositioning. His relocation is a silent announcement in the spirit realm that your season of limitation is ending. There are connections waiting in proximity to your new address. Conversations that will occur naturally because of geography. Doors that will open simply because you are nearby. Location matters more than you realized. There is a specific opportunity tied to visibility. It may not reveal itself immediately, but within a few months of your move, you will find yourself presented with a chance to step forward. It can be professional. It can be creative. It could be spiritual. But it will require confidence. And confidence grows in peaceful environments. The woman who will be exposed will not be able to follow you into this new rhythm. Her influence depended on emotional access. Once you are physically and spiritually distant, her words will lose power. You will look back and realize how much subtle persuasion shaped your decisions. That awareness will not make you bitter. It will make you wise. There is something sacred about reclaiming your independence. In your new place, you will rearrange furniture intentionally. You will organize your space according to your preference, not someone else's opinion. That may sound small, but it symbolizes ownership of your life. Ownership changes the posture. You will begin to stand straighter, to be clear, decide faster. The hesitation that once slowed you down will begin to dissolve. This is not because circumstances magically improve. It is because your environment no longer contradicts your growth. Environment either supports expansion or restricts it. The next 60 days after your move will be crucial. During that time, habits will reset. Routines will solidify. Choose wisely. Wake earlier. Guard your mornings. Protect your evenings. What you establish in that window will shape the next year. Archangel Michael is strengthening your discipline because influence requires structure. Peace alone is not enough. You are being prepared for responsibility. You may also notice that certain friendships fade naturally once you relocate. Do not chase them. Distance reveals depth. The relationships meant for your next chapter will remain consistent without force. There will be one conversation after your move that confirms everything. It will be simple, almost casual. But the words spoken will feel like a key turning in a lock. Pay attention to that moment. It will signal that you are exactly where you are meant to be. Doubt may still try to revisit you briefly. That is normal. Major decisions often echo in the mind before settling in the heart. But remember how you felt when you first sensed peace about this move. That feeling was real. Peace is your compass. You are not relocating to hide. You are relocating to rise. Archangel Michael stands at the boundary between your past and your future, ensuring that what was meant to teach you does not follow you to torment you. Lessons may come forward. Regrets may whisper. But they will not control you. Control is returning to your hands. This move is not random. It is revelation. It is exposure. It is influence. It is independence. It is authority. And when you stand months from now in that new place, reflecting on how everything unfolded, you will realize something profound. The discomfort you felt before moving was the final stretch before breakthrough. You were never lost. You were being relocated into alignment. Continue forward with confidence. Your new ground is prepared, and your next level is already waiting for your arrival. Radiant soul, the threshold is closer than ever now. You can almost feel it. There is a subtle pull in your spirit, like an invisible hand gently guiding you forward. This is not pressure. It is promise. You are being drawn into a space that has already been marked for restoration. Your movingness is the picture of the place you are moving to. Open right now before it's too late to recognize that this relocation is sealing a chapter that can never reopen the same way again. Something vital is happening. The emotional cord that once tied you to your old environment is thinning. Situations that once demanded your energy are losing urgency. Conversations that once triggered you are becoming easier to disengage from. This is detachment by design. Archangel Michael stands watch over this sacred separation. When heaven removes you from an atmosphere, it is not rejection. It is redirection. And what you are stepping into is cleaner, lighter, freer. The woman who will be exposed is approaching her own crossroads. Exposure does not only reveal truth to you, it reveals truth to her. She will begin to see that manipulation cannot control someone who has chosen clarity. Her attempts to maintain influence will weaken as your boundaries strengthen. There may be one last attempt to draw you into emotional debate. It may sound reasonable. It may even feel sentimental. But listen carefully. Peace does not argue. Peace simply stands firm. In your new place, there will be a noticeable shift in how you experience mornings. The sunlight will feel symbolic. You will wake with less heaviness. Your thoughts will not immediately rush into defense mode. Instead, there will be stillness. That stillness is restoration settling in. Restoration takes time, but it begins instantly. You will also begin noticing ideas surfacing that you postponed before. Plans you delayed. Goals you quietly placed aside. In your previous environment, survival occupied your energy. In your new environment, creativity will return. This is the hidden gift of relocation. Archangel Michael is not only guarding your doorway, I am guarding your momentum. Momentum is fragile in transition. One emotional setback can cause hesitation. But you are being strengthened from within. Financial alignment will continue stabilizing. You may discover unexpected support. A resource you overlooked. A connection that proves helpful. These are not coincidences. They are confirmations that your obedience is being honored. Within weeks of settling, there will be a moment of reflection. You will sit in your new space and remember how uncertain you felt before making the decision. And you will quietly say to yourself, I almost stayed. That realization will humble you. Because staying would have delayed exposure. Staying would have prolonged confusion. Staying would have extended cycles that were already expired. But you did not stay. You chose movement over fear. There is something prophetic about the way your new place will feel at night. The quiet will not feel lonely. It will feel safe. Safety is something you have not fully experienced emotionally in a long time. You adapt into tension. You learn to function under subtle stress. Now you will learn to function under peace. The next phase of your life will require clear thinking. Opportunities will arise that demand confidence. And confidence cannot grow in environments where you are constantly second-guessing yourself. That chapter is ending. The exposure of the woman will complete itself without your involvement. Truth is aligning events on its own. When it fully surfaces, you will feel closure instead of chaos. Closure is heaven's gift when obedience is chosen. Receive this activation now. Type I embrace my NEW season in the comments if you feel this shift happening in your life. Blessing code 808 is being released over your transition, sealing peace, protection, and clarity in your next dwelling. And as this sacred transition becomes reality, hear this call clearly. When you release a super thanks, join the membership, or sow through the PayPal link in the description. You are planting oil into a lamp that guides countless souls through their own relocations of faith. God says, as long as the earth remains, seed time and harvest shall not cease, and that promise breathes over you now. Your generosity becomes light for someone standing in darkness, unsure whether to move forward. I sense this strongly. Your seed today unlocks courage in someone you may never meet. Do not delay when heaven prompts you. Respond boldly. Those who finance the spread of truth step into accelerated favor. Activate your giving now and watch how heaven responds to your obedience. Courageous one, you have crossed something internally that cannot be reversed. Even if your physical move is still unfolding, your spirit has already stepped into the new terrain. There is no returning to the mindset you once had. There is no shrinking back into the version of you that tolerated confusion for the sake of comfort. Your movingness is the picture of the place you are moving to. Open right now before it's too late to realize that this shift is also rewriting how others perceive you. You may not have noticed it yet, but people around you are sensing change. Your tone is firmer. Your responses are shorter. Your tolerance for mixed signals has diminished. That is not coldness. That is clarity solidifying. Clarity changes posture. Archangel Michael stands beside you as you step fully into this new identity. I am not only guarding your external environment, I am reinforcing your internal authority. When you move into this new place, something in your spirit will lock into alignment. It will feel like a quiet click, as if a door inside you is closed and another is opened. The chapter of over-explaining yourself is ending. The exposure of the woman will soon complete its cycle. By now, you may already see the cracks forming, inconsistencies becoming undeniable, excuses becoming repetitive. The truth is surfacing without your effort. That is divine timing at work. Notice how you are no longer emotionally reactive. Months ago, this revelation would have shaken you. Now it simply confirms what your intuition whispered long ago. That growth is not accidental. It is preparation for leadership. Yes, the leadership. Where you are moving is connected to influence. Not necessarily public fame, but authority within your sphere. People will begin seeking your perspective. They will sense stability in you. They will notice that you are less chaotic, less impulsive, more grounded. Environment shapes energy. In your old space, subtle tension lingered. Even when nothing dramatic was happening, there was an undercurrent of uncertainty. In your new dwelling, that undercurrent will be replaced with steadiness. Steadiness builds confidence. Confidence builds direction. There is also a spiritual sensitivity that will sharpen. You will begin discerning motives faster. Conversations will feel transparent. You will sense alignment or misalignment within moments. This is a gift you cultivated through endurance. But endurance is no longer your assignment. Expansion is. You may also experience an unexpected emotional release after you settle in. It could happen one evening when everything is quiet. Tears may surface without clear explanation. That release is not sadness. It is decompression. You have been carrying more than you admitted to yourself. Let it flow. Archangel Michael is guarding your vulnerability in this moment. Healing often arrives quietly, not dramatically. As you release old tension, new strength will settle. There will be a specific sign within the first month of living in your new place. It may come through a phone call, an invitation, or an opportunity that aligns perfectly with something you once desired. When it appears, you will immediately recognize it as confirmation. Do not hesitate. This is why relocation was necessary. Proximity creates possibility. Had you remained where you were, this opportunity would have bypassed you completely. Timing is sacred. Financially, you will begin noticing small victories. Bills aligning more smoothly. Unexpected assistance. A sense of control replacing anxiety. Stability is forming brick by brick. You are not just changing geography. You are restructuring your foundation. The woman's exposure will finalize itself soon, and when it does, you will feel gratitude rather than anger. Gratitude that you saw the truth before it cost you more. Gratitude that you moved before deeper entanglement formed. That gratitude will mature you. You are entering a season where your presence commands respect. Not because you demand it, but because you embody it. Peace will radiate from you in a way that unsettles those who thrive on drama. Let them be unsettled. Your assignment is not to shrink so others feel comfortable. Your assignment is to stand where you have been placed. Archangel Michael remains stationed at the border of your past, ensuring that cycles do not follow you. The door behind you is closing gently, but firmly. Ahead of you is stability, clarity, and controlled momentum. Continue stepping forward without apology. The place you are moving to is not just shelter. It is your launch point. Mighty soul, this is the phase where everything becomes undeniable. The internal shift has happened. The exposure is unfolding. The move is no longer just an idea. It is reality pressing against the door of your future. You can feel it in your chest. You can sense it in your decisions. There is no turning back now. Your movingness is the picture of the place you are moving to. Open right now before it's too late to understand that this relocation is not only about peace, but about elevation in ways you have not yet imagined. Something extraordinary is attached to this egress. In your old environment, you were surviving patterns. You were adapting to emotional unpredictability. You were minimizing your own instincts to maintain balance. But in this new place, balance will not require self-sacrifice. That is growth. Archangel Michael stands as commander over this elevation. Where you are stepping is marked territory. Marked for maturity. Marked for favor. Marked for advancement. The reason resistance intensified before your move is because elevation always triggers opposition before it manifests. But opposition failed. The woman who is being exposed has already begun losing influence over your perception. Even if she attempts one final narrative, even if she tries to reposition herself as misunderstood, your discernment has sharpened too much to be clouded again. Truth has already anchored inside you. And here is what you must understand now. Your relocation is repositioning you among people who operate differently. Conversations will feel cleaner. Agreements will feel more solid. Integrity will become a standard, not an exception. That shift will recalibrate your expectations permanently. You will begin to notice that you tolerate less confusion in all areas of life. Work, friendships, family dynamics. Your boundaries will no longer feel harsh. They will feel natural. This is what happens when peace becomes your baseline. Within weeks of settling in, there will be a defining moment. It may appear small externally, but internally it will feel monumental. You will respond to a situation calmly that once would have triggered you. In that moment, you will realize how much you have changed. That realization will empower you. Financial doors connected to your new proximity will begin to open gradually. Not through dramatic windfalls, but through strategic alignment. You may meet someone who introduces you to an opportunity. You may discover a resource that simplifies your responsibilities. You may find that expenses feel more manageable. Alignment reduces friction. Archangel Michael is guarding not only your dwelling, but your direction. Your next 12 months will be shaped heavily by the foundation you establish in the first few weeks after moving. Protect your mornings. Guard your peace. Be intentional with your routines. Momentum is sacred. If this message has been walking you step by step through confirmation, do not let it remain silent. Like this video so the algorithm carries it to someone who needs courage to move. Share it with a person who feels trapped in an expired season. Comment "I choose elevation" as a declaration over your transition. Subscribe to this channel to continue receiving clarity-filled messages that strengthen your discernment. If your spirit feels aligned, join the membership and stand with a community committed to spiritual growth and purpose. And listen carefully. What is about to unfold next will reveal why this move is not only about your comfort, but about a calling that requires visibility. The next revelation ties your address to influence in a way that may surprise you. Stay focused, because this is where the shift becomes purpose-driven. You are not just relocating for relief. You are relocating for responsibility. There is influence waiting in your new environment. Not necessarily fame, but impact. Your presence will matter there. Your stability will inspire someone quietly observing you. Your clarity will become guidance to someone who once felt as confused as you did. Elevation carries responsibility. The exposure of the woman will finalize in a way that closes the chapter completely. When that moment arrives, you will not feel the need to defend your choice to move. The evidence will speak for itself, and in that silence, you will feel peace settle permanently. Archangel Michael remains stationed over your transition. The door ahead of you is open. The door behind you is closing. Step forward fully. Your new place is not simply a home. It is the beginning of your next level. Chosen vessel, you are now standing in the final stretch before full manifestation. Everything that has been whispered in your spirit is about to take solid form. What once felt like intuition is becoming evidence. What once felt uncertain is becoming undeniable. The move is no longer just about leaving something behind. It is about stepping into who you were always meant to become. Your movingness is the picture of the place you are moving to. Open right now before it's too late to recognize that this address carries more than comfort. It carries assignment. By now, the exposure you were warned about has either begun or is moments away from surfacing completely. Inconsistencies have aligned into clarity. The excuses have run out of strength, and you are no longer emotionally entangled enough to be shaken by. That is victory. Archangel Michael stands as witness to your endurance and your obedience. I have guarded you through confusion. I have shielded you when you questioned your own instincts. And now I am escorting you into confirmation. Notice how different you feel compared to the beginning of this journey. At first you were uncertain. You wondered if you were overthinking. You questioned whether moving was impulsive. But now, there is steadiness inside you. Steadiness is a sign of divine alignment. When you physically stand inside your new place, you will sense something powerful. Ownership. Not just legal ownership or temporary residence. A virtual ownership. The feeling that you belong there. That the space recognizes you. There will be a specific moment, perhaps while arranging your furniture or standing near a window, when you pause and feel overwhelming gratitude. That gratitude will not only be about the move, it will be about survival. You survived manipulation without becoming bitter. You survived confusion without losing discernment. You survived a delay without abandoning faith. That survival has refined you. The woman whose exposure was foretold will no longer hold emotional authority in your life. Even if her name is mentioned, it will not trigger you the same way. Distance has healed what confrontation never could. This is the power of relocation. There is also a subtle shift happening in your social atmosphere. New conversations will begin forming naturally. You may encounter people who mirror your current mindset rather than your past wounds. These connections will feel lighter, less dramatic, more balanced. Pay attention to the one person who enters your life calmly but consistently. That individual will play a supportive role in your next chapter. Not chaotic, not overwhelming. Just steady. Steadiness is now your standard. Financially, the structure forming around you will begin to stabilize further. You will feel more in control, more organized, less reactive. Stability may not feel glamorous, but it builds confidence. And confidence attracts opportunity. Archangel Michael continues to guard your progress. The unseen battles that once surrounded you have lost territory. Your obedience to move disrupted cycles that could have repeated for years. That obedience is being honored. Within the next season, you will notice that your decision-making becomes faster and clearer. You will trust your instincts without seeking excessive validation. As maturity settling into place, The chapter behind you is closing completely now. There may be a final memory that surfaces, something bittersweet. Allow it to pass through you gently. Closure does not require resentment. It requires acceptance. You have accepted the lesson. Now you are embracing the elevation. This new place is not just where you sleep. It is where you build. It is where you think clearly. It is where you regain momentum. It is where your next ideas will take shape. Your move is proof that you are no longer willing to live beneath your discernment. Archangel Michael stands at your doorway, not as a distant guardian, but as a present protector. The threshold is covered. The atmosphere is secured. A chapter is rewritten. Take a deep breath. You are not who you were when this message first reached you. You are stronger, clearer, calmer. And what waits ahead in this new space is not chaos. It is calling. Beloved child of destiny, this is the moment everything settles into truth. The move is complete, whether physically or spiritually. The chapter has closed. The door has shut behind you with quiet finality. And now you are standing in the space that was shown to you before you even believed it was possible. Your movingness is the picture of the place you are moving to. Open right now before it's too late to recognize that you were never just changing locations. You were stepping into alignment written long ago. Look around you. The air feels different. The silence feels different. Even your breathing feels different. There is no underlying tension humming in the background. There is no emotional weight pressing against your chest. There is peace, and not the fragile kind that disappears with one difficult conversation. This peace feels anchored. That is divine positioning. Archangel Michael has walked this entire path with you. From the first whisper of discomfort in your old space, to the resistance that tried to delay you, to the exposure that confirmed your discernment, to this very moment of arrival. Protection was never absent. Timing was never random. The woman who was to be exposed has now completed her role in your story. Whether through revealed truth, undeniable contradiction, or simple distance that exposed inconsistency, clarity has come. And notice this, you did not have to fight for it. Truth surfaced on its own. That is how heaven works when you obey. What would have drained you for years has been cut off in a single season. What could have entangled you deeper has been dismantled by distance. You are no longer emotionally tethered to confusion. You are no longer negotiating with red flags. You are no longer shrinking to maintain fragile harmony. You have matured, and maturity changes atmosphere. In this new place, routines will solidify into discipline. Discipline will build stability. Stability will produce influence. Influence will create opportunity. You are not just at a new address. You are at the foundation of your next level. There will be a day soon when you wake up and realize you have not thought about the old chapter in weeks. No revisiting conversations. No replaying arguments. No wondering what if. Just forward focus. That is freedom. Archangel Michael stands at your doorway even now, sword lowered, not because battle continues, but because victory has been secured. The fight was never meant to last forever. It was meant to refine you. You were refined. The environment you now occupy will witness your rebuilding. It will witness your growth. It will witness your confidence expanding without apology. And someone watching your life from a distance will quietly gain courage from your decision to move when it felt uncertain. Your obedience became someone else's blueprint. Remember this, you were not pushed out. You were called forward. And as this message completes its assignment over your life, seal this transition with intention. Type "I have arrived" in the comments if you receive this confirmation in your spirit. Blessing code 1212 is now activated over your home, your mind, and your future. This number seals alignment, protection, and elevation in your new season. Now hear this final call as part of the same prophetic flow. When you release a super thanks, step into membership, or sow through the PayPal link in the description, you are not funding content. You are fueling a river of light that reaches souls standing at their own crossroads. The Lord declares, "Those who water others will themselves be watered," and that promise is alive over you right now. I sense this deeply. Your seed becomes shelter for someone else seeking clarity. Do not hesitate when heaven prompts you. Act swiftly and boldly. Those who invest in the spread of truth step into multiplied favor and open heavens. This is your moment to respond with obedience. Activate your giving now and become a pillar in the movement of divine alignment.